Hello, hello. Happy Tuesday. Okay, here we go. All right. Hey, everyone. What's going on? Happy Tuesday to all of you. I'm super duper excited to be bringing you this quick brand chat for the day. If you happen to be new here, maybe somebody shared this broadcast and you're like, who is this lady? My name is Tiffany Badia. I am a personal brand strategist. I have the joy of showing women, coaches, consultants, and service providers how to be uniquely visible and massively profitable online. And I want to talk today about something that it's a question I get so often. And I want to answer the question, but I also want to just give you a couple of nuggets. You see there at the bottom of the screen that there's a QR code. And if throughout this conversation, you're like, man, Tiffany, I really could use some assistance with implementing what you are talking about, then I'm going to invite you to hop on my calendar. If for whatever reason you can't click the link, you can't type it in, you're like, girl, I'm driving, shoot me a DM and I will send you the link so that you can hop on my calendar. All right. Let's get into this thing. So today we're talking about what exactly should you be posting on social media to see explosive growth? Let me just kind of start foundationally at the bottom and just work my way out. Okay. So, social media can be a nuisance. Can we just deal with that elephant in the room? It's the truth, right? Social media can be overwhelming, it can be frustrating, it can feel like all the things. But what we cannot get away from is the fact that social media is a really great way to get in front of new potential customers, get in front of new potential clients, and it has a really great return on investment. So there are a lot of methods you can use offline that are not on internet based. You could do postcard mailers and billboards and all of these different things. However, when you look at digital marketing, you're going to see a higher return for every dollar that you spend. And so while social media can be like, right, you don't feel like all the things, it is a really, really great way to grow your business and to grow your visibility. Okay, shameless plug, right? I'm hosting a virtual training soon. And if you know that you need to grow your social media visibility, you're not getting the sales that you need because you just don't have enough people following or on your email list, then I want you to stay tuned because I've got something for you. Or you can simply shoot me a DM and I'll make sure that you get that information. But for those of you who are like, okay, Tiffany, fine, I get it. I'm convinced. I know that I need to be utilizing social media to grow my business and my brand. But girl, I don't really know what I should be posting. I'm going to give you three simple things that I want you to add to your social media calendar. Now, let me back up and just give you some extra tips that I didn't write these things down, but I'm just like, let me start at scratch. So, I want you to have a weekly social media plan. I don't want you to wing it. I want you to come up with and take some time to plan every single week. What do I need to share on social media this coming week? And I want it to be based on what are you promoting? What's coming up? Are you doing any sales, any specials? What is happening in your business, in your ecosystem? And what information do you need to be sharing based on that? Okay. So hopefully you've got some type of marketing calendar or you've got something that's driving what you're talking about, when you're doing what you're doing. Okay. If not, that's step number one. Now I can't cover that today, but from there, I want you to have a weekly social media calendar. This is really going to govern what's being posted every day. What are you sharing? Okay. So that was like basic level before I even jump into this next thing, because where a lot of people are also messing up on social media is lack of consistency. Now, for those of you who are spiritual people, just come hang with me for 2 seconds. Um, you put seed in the ground and you reap from that seed. And so you cannot show up sporadically on social media and think that that's going to yield consistency when it comes to your business, because it just does not work that way. So This is not even the 3 points, but before you, what you've got to recognize is that you've at least got to be consistent. Now, let me speak to the people who are like, I hear you, but I hate social media. Then if it's something that has to get done, but you don't want to do it, then outsource it. Period. Make sure it still gets done. I always tell people it's like for those of us who are mothers, we love our children. We don't always feel like cooking, but we make sure that they eat. Either we cook or we outsource it. Okay. DoorDash is going to do it. Somebody's going to feed this child. They're not going to be hungry because I don't feel like it. Your business is the same way. It's your baby, it's your child. It needs to be marketed. And it cannot not get done because you don't feel like it. So if you're not the person to do the social media, you can go on Fiverr, you can go on Upwork and find people for pretty reasonable amounts who will take the social media off your hands so that it gets done even if you don't want to do it. Okay? So, now that we've gotten that out of the way, let me give you 3 things I want you to specifically be posting on social media. Okay. Now, keep in mind, I am primarily talking to those of you who are coaches, who are consultants, who are service providers. Maybe you're a speaker and author. You provide something intangible. That's what you sell in the market. Okay. So, the first one is I want you to educate. That's the first thing that I want you to do. I want you to educate. Now, this is going to sound really basic, but here's why I say this. More often than not, your customers and clients need to be educated into their need for what you have. They might even be problem aware and recognize that they have a challenge, but they still might not fully be aware enough that you are the person that they need. Okay. Or how bad the problem actually is. So I always think about, clients who come to me and they know that they need maybe a new website, or they need some updates to their site or whatever. But during the course of our conversation, I'm able to educate them so that they understand, hey, this is actually a big massive problem, and if you do not fix it, here's how this is going to result in your business. And it moves them into action, like, oh my goodness, I didn't know, I do need to fix it. Well, how much will it be for us to get this website fixed? Why? Because they kind of knew that something was going on, but in conversation with you, the expert, they realize, oh wow, this, it really really needs to be fixed. And so whether you're a financial coach or whatever area you show up in, your customer is probably aware that there's something going on, but it's only when you begin to speak up and educate them and let them know that, hey, A, this is a serious problem, and B, this is what it could look like if you fix it. Then you are moving people into a place where they go, okay, I actually need what you have, right? So some of your posting needs to purely be educational. Case in point, I am practicing what I preach. This right here is a purely educational piece of content where I'm teaching you based on something you need in an area I am actually able to help you. Case in point, right? When I said in the beginning that you can hop on my calendar. Why? Because I'm going to teach you something. But through the course of this, there will always be a portion of people who realize, man, I actually need help implementing that. And because you are the person who brought the problem to mind, it's likely that you are the person that they will look to help them solve the problem. Okay. So, education. Now, this is something I also want to say when it comes to content. Over the past few years, I've been saying it this way because I found that this is really the big issue. And I want to know in the comments if you've ever been in a space where you feel like I don't know what to post. I want you to put me in the comments. Let me see who you are. You're like, sometimes I just don't know what to post. Let me tell you why that is the case so that you will forever know how to break through that. So, one of the things I teach in my business is called the bridge method. And essentially, what the bridge method says is, thank you, Angela. You are not alone. What the bridge method says is that I'm selling a transformation and I'm moving person from point A to point B. And I'm really just taking them across the bridge from problem to solution. Okay. Thank you, Rochelle. So that's what the bridge method says. Whether you're a coach, consultant, that means how you move them across the bridge might be different. Consultants will move them across the bridge by doing it for them. Coaches will move them across the bridge by giving them information. But either way, you're moving them from point A to point B. Here is the challenge with creating content is that typically you are at point B. You are not experiencing the same challenge as the person who needs you. So case in point, I don't have the challenge of being like, I don't know what to post on social media. I always know what to post on social media because that's my specialty. So it takes me going into the reservoir of my mind and conversations with you guys to be like, what are the challenges that someone on this side of the bridge is having? Because you're not having that challenge. And so I literally just had a conversation with a new client last week, and she was like, oh my goodness, that's the problem. I keep creating content for people on this side of the bridge. And I'm like, exactly. And that's not who you're trying to sell to, right? You're trying to sell to the person who's still at point A. So mentally, you got to go back across the bridge and sit with what are they confused about? What don't they know? And when you think about it, for you, it's going to be something that's like, duh. But that's where your ideal client is stuck. They don't know. Now, a practical way that I always teach my clients to do this is through surveys and polls and having information written down so that you always have a reservoir to pull from. So when you coach with me, I actually give you tools to keep a docket and to keep information so you always have some a place to educate them because you're always aware of what they're struggling with and what they're confused about. Okay, so had to give you that because once I figured that out, I noticed that that was really transformational for a lot of my clients, and whenever they would go to create content, they would be thinking about what who am I talking to? Am I on this side of the bridge or do I need to mentally go back across? Okay. So that's number one. You should constantly be educating us and telling us what are the pains that we're experiencing and how it can be better. Okay. Now, number two, I want you to entertain. Now, relax. I don't want you to think that I'm saying you got to be, a comedian. What I really mean by this is make connection and be human. Um, so often, and I've even found myself in the past struggle with this, where you're constantly creating reels or quotes and all this information, and it's like people are interested, they do want that information, but they also just want to laugh or be yourself, like be human, share your values. There are times where I'll share my faith, and my business is not a faith based business, but that's just something that's a part of who I am. So I'll share that, or I love music, or I'm a mom, and all of these different pieces. So I show up fully human on social media. Why? Because if you work with me, you're going to get all of those parts. I'm fully human, fully a being. And so make connection. This can be a struggle for people who are introverted or extremely private. And so, what I would say to you is really be mindful about how you want to curate how you show up. You don't have to share everything, and you can absolutely still keep some things for yourself. But you do need to be human, and you do need to show people that you're a person. So sometimes I'll get clients who have like a completely separate private page versus their business page, and unless the business is literally something separate, if it's not your personal brand, like my personal brand page is my business page, right? And so both things are happening there because I'm a businesswoman, but I'm a mother, and I sing, and I'm a friend, and I'm a sister. And so you get all of the pieces and parts of who I am. So be human. Really be intentional about how you curate your feed and what parts of your life you show them. You can keep so much private that's still to yourself. There's so much of me that still does not make it on social media, but there's enough there that you get the authentic part of who I am. And it helps you decide if working with me makes sense, because most of the women that come to me, like pretty much about 100%, maybe they're different faiths, but everyone that comes to me is a person of faith. Why? Because my content tells you that this is a safe place for you to bring your faith. And that is not always a reel or a post about business. That's just me being human, you know? So be human online, okay? Um, and then lastly, this one is really important. You need to engage, okay? Tap your neighbor and say, give them a call to action. This is one that's extremely easy to miss, but what do you want people to do? So, for me, one of the call to actions I'll often give is book a call with me. Okay. Sales calls is one of my important marketing metrics. I'm always measuring. And when I look at my revenue goals and what I'm trying to do for the month and the year, one of the biggest metrics that lets me know that I'm on track is how many sales calls I have in a week. So, shameless plug, right? If you need support with your marketing, with your content creation, you can shoot me a DM and I'll send you the link to get on my calendar. That's what you want to do. You want to let people know how do they engage with your information. I see this on every platform, LinkedIn, Facebook, everywhere I am, right? Right now I'm live on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Instagram, okay? So I want to let people know how to engage with me. Now that you've heard this information, what should you do with it? Well, implement it and put it into practice. But if you need some additional support or strategy, my hand is raised. I can help you. You want to do the same thing. If you have resources, right? So I have various resources. I have a lead magnet and different resources inside of my free Facebook group. That's another place where I like to support people and give them resources. So oftentimes I'll say, hey, listen, meet me inside my free Facebook group. I have a weekly marketing task list in there. I have training, I have videos, all of these great things. I'm even live right now inside of my Facebook group. So that is a place that I give a little extra, right? A little more than I post on the rest of social media. So one of my engaging call to actions is meet me inside of my Facebook group. So you have to look at your marketing flow and what you want people to do, right? Based on how you sell and what you're looking to do. Do you want them to sign up for a consultation? What do you want them to do? But tell them what to do in your posts, right? If you're doing a reel. So what I've done now is at the end of my reels, I literally have a graphic that points people to my Facebook group because that's a big priority, right? Place that I'm looking to grow and nurture and build relationship with people. So you could do something like that. If you do a reel, at the end of it, you can place a graphic for your call to action. That call to action could be sign up for a call or download my free checklist or whatever it is, but move people along whatever your journey is, assuming you got one. If you do not have one, then you really actually should get on my phone call because that means you don't have a marketing system in place that's allowing you to move people from followers to customers. And there's an art and a science to this, right? So one of the things I'm really working with women on right now is building your audience because I see so many people constantly launching to crickets. They got 50 Instagram followers and 100 people on the email list and 20 people over here, and it's just not enough to reach their sales goals, and they're frustrated and they're defeated, and it's really, you're not doing anything wrong. You just need a bigger audience. And so you're going to hear me on here all month talking about how to grow your following, your social media, and your email list, because that's where your sales are going to come from. On all of my social media and email combined, I'm reaching over 30,000 people. So there's stuff that I don't even post on maybe Facebook or what, but I've got all of these people that I can talk to and interact with. And so this is why I'm able to consistently meet my sales goals. Some of you are doing the same activity, you're just not reaching enough people. Okay. So let's do a quick recap of what you want to be posting on social media. The first one is you need to be posting in educational posts, right? Educational posts. What is your audience struggling with? What do they need to know? Are they trying to figure out how to budget, how to get business funding, how to market their business, how to grow their marriage? What are they trying to figure out how to do? What are the big questions that they have? And how can you answer that question in a reel or carousel or quote post or a live stream such as this? Okay. Then, secondly, you want to entertain. Be human. Be human. I was talking to somebody in a consultation recently, and I said, sometimes we get on social media and we do these awkward things we wouldn't do in real life, like, have these one-sided conversations. On social media, talk back, engage, laugh in the comments, be human, right? Show them your value, show them who you are. People are not only buying your product and services, they're also buying you. And then the third was engage. This is the big one where some of you are missing it. You may be posting great content, but you're not giving them a call to action. You're not telling them to visit the website for 10% off, or to book a call, or to visit your Facebook group, or whatever it is that is moving people along your marketing cycle. And some of you don't have a marketing cycle. And you're like, Tiffany, that's why I'm not posting it, because I don't even know. I'm just posting and hoping that people will go by. And it doesn't work that way. You've got to have a strategic marketing engine in place that moves people from just finding out about you all the way through your sales cycle. And if you do not have that, you actually do need to book a call with me so that I can take a look at what you have in place and what the gaps are. Okay. So if you'd like me to do that, then I want you to go to the link, or you can go to tiffanybathia.com or just DM me and I'll send you the link. But it's time for you to stop guessing where your next customer is coming from, hoping, posting, and saying, you know what, let me get something strategic in place that allows me to have control and know exactly how many people I can get in front of and how many sales I can close in this month. Okay. So I'm going to close this thing where I began. Social media can be a lot. It can be frustrating. It can be overwhelming, but it's vital and critical for you to have to have a healthy, booming business in 2024. The first thing that people are going to do is look you up. They're going to go to your website. They're going to click on your social media, and you need to be active and you need to look like your business is open. And if you aren't the one to do it, then outsource it to someone else, but be consistent and make sure that you have a healthy, vibrant presence on social media. And the three things that I gave you should comprise your weekly social media calendar. Now, last resource I have for you, I have a free weekly marketing task list. If you're like, look, girl, I'm winging it out here. I don't even know what every week I'm just kind of making it up. I'm not really sure what I'm doing to make sales in this business. Then I want you to grab my free weekly marketing task list. Shoot me a DM and I will send you that weekly, that's a tongue twister, weekly marketing task list. Shoot me a DM and you'll get my weekly marketing task list. Okay. I hope that this has been helpful. If you're not already a part of my Facebook community and my email, I mean, what are you really doing? Right? There are so many free nuggets and tips, funding stuff. I just had a call with M&T Bank today. They're sending me some stuff. So make sure you are part of my community so that I can give you the valuable resources and strategies and tips that you need to grow your business, to be uniquely visible and massively profitable online. And I will see you guys again soon. Bye-bye.